Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Of course, you know my name is Helen. So in this series, I'm going to attempt to run through the Companies and Allied Matters Act. But before I start, a little bit of housekeeping. So I'm shooting this particular video with the natural light in this my small studio that I'm trying to construct. So I'm sitting directly opposite the window so I can get the natural light. There's no light. It's a little bit hot as much as the window is open, so you're going to see me do this when necessary, so I can get some air and not sweat out much. Okay, so this video is like an introduction to the series that I'm thinking of doing, or that I already have plans to roll out. So the series is to help us look at the entire Companies and Allied Matters Act, but this is going to just be an introduction and a summary of what is contained in the Companies and Allied Matters Act. So why this video and who is this video meant for, basically, and to also sample your opinion if you think that this is a good idea, I should continue with it, or it's a bad idea, oh Helen, stop, something like this. So I also like to get our feedback. So what I'm attempting to do is that the Companies and Allied Matters Act, which is the act that regulates business and company registration and related matters in Nigeria, basically, it's a very voluminous act, and a lot of persons have always, if you're a lawyer or you're a law student, especially law students in the university and in the law school, we see corporate law as one of the very difficult courses because of how voluminous the act is. And then you are expected to know basically almost everything that is in the act. So what I'm going to attempt to do in this video is to run us through the entire sections of CAMA, Company and Allied Matters Act. To run us through the entire section from section 1 to section 800. It has over 800 sections actually. It's a very voluminous law, as it were. So I'll run us from the beginning to the end. Each video is going to carry a section. So for instance, when we start section 1, we read just section 1. So we read section 1. I'm literally going to be reading out of the CAMA and with some explanation, real life example, just something for it to stick. So I'm looking at a situation whereby you can come on my YouTube channel if you want to know what is the content of section 500 of CAMA, for instance. So there's going to be a video, a short video tagged section 500, and you can easily look at it. So does this mean that we are going to have 870 videos? I don't know, but this is what I'm attempting to do. So we're going to see how it goes. But as a way of introduction, the entire CAMA has 870 sections, and they are divided into parts and chapters. So you have before the amendment, sorry, let me just as a way of illustration, before the CAMA was amended in 2020, it used to have just 3 parts, and after the amendment 2 new entities were introduced, and we now have from part A to part G, of the entire CAMA. So the CAMA is divided into part A to G, with each part having its own chapters, and then the entire section runs from section 1 to 870. So part A, it talks about the Corporate Affairs Commission. That's the commission that is saddled with the responsibility to execute the provisions of this law, which is CAMA. And then part B talks about company and all incidental matters that has to do with company. Part C talks about limited liability partnership. That's one of the new entities that was introduced. And then part D talks about limited partnership. Part E talks about business name, and then part F talks about incorporated trustees. Then the final part, which is part G, it just talks about general matters. I think it's just general establishments and administrative proceedings of committees, something like this. So we're going to look at it explicitly when we start running through. So you have part A to G, and you have a total of 870 sections. Okay, maybe I should also, in this introductory video, talk about how many sections for each chapter. So for instance, how many sections for each part? Sorry, how many sections for each part? I beg your pardon. Part A, which talks about Corporate Affairs Commission, is section 1 to section 17. So everything we are going to be doing in the first few sections is the establishment of the Corporate Affairs Commission, and then from sections 18 to about 745, 18 to 745 talks about company. The entire, in fact, the provisions for company regulation in CAMA is one of the largest. So it has about 28 chapters, and it covers from 18 to 745. So the other parts, the other entities, are not so much, are not so voluminous. Then part C, which is limited liability partnership, starts from section 746 to 794. Part D, limited partnership, starts from section 795 to 810, and then part E starts from 811 to 822, and then you have F, which is IT, 823 to 850, incorporated trustee, and G, of course, the last part, 851 to 870. So is this something that you think that will be helpful to you as a law student, as a lawyer, or you are somebody that is working in any of the regulatory and compliance sector, or you have any interaction with law at all, or you're an accountant, you are a chartered accountant, you have any business to do with, this sector, this law is very important and it's so voluminous. This is one easy way to help you understand and know your CAMA properly. So, study CAMA with me on this series. Come as we dive through inside of CAMA. Thank you, and I'll see you in the very first section.